Hi, this is Louise and Luna. Welcome to the art cabin. Today we are going to talk about how to prepare a canvas to apply gold leaf. Okay, so Luna has stuff to do, so she's gonna go. So if you're first time to my channel, I showcase a lot of my art techniques, but I'm particularly interested in gold leaf and silver leaf and the chinoiserie style of painting, and I've had quite a lot of questions about the process, so I kind of wanted to just go right back to the basics of how to prepare the canvas, and then I'll do a second video about what I decide to do with that canvas once it's prepared with gold leaf. Let's have a look at a couple of examples of other things that I've done. I'm learning all the time. I've only been using gold leaf for a couple of years, so I'm still learning and experimenting, and I used to use gold paint a lot, but gold leaf is a completely different story and it's so beautiful. I love it so much, and seems like a lot of you do as well. So let's have a look at this, which I've just recently completed. So I gold leafed a panel and then I painted a sunset in oils. Just experimenting, it's kind of a new thing for me. This is actually a sunset from the Virgin Islands, which is where I grew up. So yeah, I'm missing paradise, but I am recreating it, and I'm really happy with the way the clouds look over the gold sky. I'm actually planning on doing a silver one. I live in Kent in England, in the countryside, so I am going to do one with a silver sky with the white clouds, and we'll see how that works out. Here is a canvas where I've applied silver leaf, and what I did was I underpainted the canvas with pale blue, and you often get little bits of leaf that don't actually adhere, so you get patches of colour showing through underneath, which is really nice. So here you can see two little ones which I'm going to get framed side by side. Let's try and get a reflection. I didn't underpaint, so any glitches just white, and I've realised that what I really like to do is have a colour peeking through. So that's gold and silver. I've decided to paint the canvas dark green, and you could use acrylics, you could use oils, but they take a long time to dry. Actually, I'm going to use emulsion. So this is just an emulsion test pot. The brand I'm using is called Craig and Rose, and the colour is called Ottile. What I really like about them is they have a screw lid, so the paint lasts really well, and I like the chalky matte finish of them. I have my canvas, and I'm going to paint it pretty roughly, because it doesn't need to be perfect, with the green. Okay, so I will crack on with that. Let's find a nice brush for that. Always have some kitchen paper to hand, because often you have too much water on your brush, and I really want to use the paint with quite a thick application direct from the pot. So all I'm going to do is moisten my brush, and I'm going to just dip into the paint. Oh, that's so satisfying. So I'm going to go around the edges, all over, and I have this lovely dark green finish. Okay. Okay, so now we've got a green canvas. I'm actually going to put it outside to dry. It's probably going to dry really quickly in the sun. So let's do that, and then we'll come back and start gilding. So the size, which is what we call the name for the glue that you use for gilding. This one is acrylic. It's water-based, and it's non-toxic. Yeah, it's easy peasy. Another brand that I use sometimes is Pebeo, although actually I'm preferring this one. It's just from my art shop. So I also like to have a scalpel because I like to use that to lift up the corner of the sheets each time. So I will demonstrate that in a minute. We're going to need a selection of brushes for burnishing the gold leaf onto the canvas, and then later on when it's dry to brushing away all the excess gold leaf. So the gold leaf comes in little packages like this, and each one has a sheet of tissue in between, but they're very delicate, and that is the beautiful yellow gold that I'm going to be using today. So this is imitation gold, really inexpensive. I think this pack is in the region of £10. Got some other colours to show you. So this is C. Roberson and Company, so just from our local art shop. This is aluminum. So yeah, a gorgeous silvery finish, which I'm getting a little bit passionate about as well. Some rose gold, which actually we used a lot recently. I did an art class where we were doing Gustav Klimt inspired stuff, and the rose gold looked amazing. So coppery rose gold colour. Can you see that, or is it too reflective? I'll have to add a picture. Anyway, this is really beautiful as well. And actually I do think that you can get it in other colours, but I'm not really into that at the moment. So now the sheets are very delicate and my fingers are a bit sticky. You can you see the gloss there where I've been applying the size? So I'm just brushing, I'm trying not to leave any spaces, making a nice thin layer across the canvas, down the side. See in the light there where I've completed and where I haven't. And actually, if you see reflections in the light, you can see any spots you might have missed. Okay, so brush goes in the water, but you will need to wash this off with warm soapy water, otherwise it's going to ruin your bristles. But for now, I'm just going to pop it in a jar of water. Whilst I'm just waiting for this to cure a little bit more, because I think it's still a little bit wet, I wanted to show you some other materials that you can use if you're interested in gold leaf. I was given this amazing set from a company that's been around since 1840 or something, which is the real gold leaf. So the products inside the gilding materials that have been used for hundreds of years. So this is called Japan Oil Gold Size. So it's toxic and it needs methylated or white spirits to clean the brush, and has a lot longer curing time. And it also has shellac varnish, so again oil based, toxic. So just a little bit more complex in the application. A little bit daunting. It comes with this amazing knife for cutting the gold, these beautiful soft brushes, and if I can just show you, the gold is 23 karat gold leaf, so obviously it's expensive and it's precious, and they come in these smaller sheets like this. So I have got a little bit precious about my real gold. So I'm using this more just for details or smaller projects. But what I've realized is with the imitation gold, you can do much larger projects and the effect is absolutely gorgeous. So I think the canvas is about ready now. This has been about 10 minutes and it's just kind of like tacky. Okay, so let's pick up our first sheet of gold leaf. And I pick it up with the tissue paper and I'm going to fold it over the edge as well. So just drop it down, gently press down. Take one of my big soft brushes. If I lift up, I can see where there might be some air bubbles. So what I can do is I can just kind of start to press them out and then rub this into the side of the canvas here. Let's take a look. So obviously, because these sheets of metal are so thin, they are going to pick up the texture of the canvas. So I like that. Some people don't like that. So you could use a wooden panel if you want to get a completely flat effect. Okay, so that is sheet number 1. Let's get the next one. Okay, so I'm going to place it right next to. So by using the tissue to brush over, I'm not going to damage the surface of the gold. I'm just going to brush some air bubbles out. It looks quite nice as well where it crinkles and gets creases in it. You kind of just need to embrace all of it because I actually want some of the green to show through. So sometimes you can do too good a job and realize that you're not going to get any of the colour showing through. So bring that right up to the edge of that one. Smooth it down and over the edge. Okay, let's take a peek. Looking good. I'm going to brush that over that side as well. All of these excess bits around the edge we can I can peel that off and I can use that somewhere else. So we'll make a little pile of these. Uh-oh, see I broke that one? Never mind, I'm going to put it down like that. This is stuck to my finger. And I'm just going to kind of stick it back in there. And actually, I'm not going to worry too much because I do want some of this green, because the nice thing as well about gold leaf is to try and achieve like a distressed look. So once you get over your initial fear of the delicacy of the gold, yeah, so we're embracing our mistakes and not getting stressed, we're just enjoying the process. When I first used gold leaf, I was working with the real gold, so I was actually quite stressed a lot of the time. Then I discovered the imitation gold, and you just felt a lot more relaxed. So the largest projects I've done so far was a pair of canvases which were like 1 meter by 1 meter, which did look really lovely. And then they had, one had pink blossom and one had lilac blossom. Okay, look, this is going down really nicely. So I've got a bit of a wonky line there, doesn't matter. Can you see that I've overlapped there? Okay. So in some areas we'll see the line and in other areas we won't. And if I decide I'm not going to get enough green, I might just... Wow, look how well that's sticking already. Okay, I need to be careful not to do it too well because I do want green. But also I hope I'm showing you. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap here. I've left a gap here because I want green. Okay, so this bit here is too big, so I accidentally misplaced the sheet of gold. So I'm just going to fix it with a little repair of one of those spare bits that I pulled off earlier. Put that down in the gap there. Need to check around the edges and go around the edges. So got this piece here. So now I've cut myself quite a handy little piece that could go around that corner tears so easily. Just pat that down with my brush. Okay, so I'm going to take a new sheet out. And I'm going to try and get some long narrow bits to go here. Let's try just tearing. Okay, let's put that one there. Pat it down. And this side needs work. So in places I can feel there's literally no tackiness at all. I think I'm going to have to apply a teeny bit more of the gold size. And we just leave that for 5 minutes, okay? So we've just got this one edge to finish. I'm brushing this really softly. And just kind of pushing it in. Okay, my fingers are really sticky now, so that's a problem. Maybe now I'm demonstrating what not to do. Okay, look at my hands. Okay, I need to use the tissue. So I want to keep some of these green bits here, so I'm just kind of patching it in and trying to leave little glimpses of green. When I first was doing gold leafing, I was trying to cover every single millimeter. And as I've got more familiar with it, I'm now trying to kind of actually embrace this more distressed look. I hope it doesn't cause you distress. Okay, so we're going to have to get one last sheet, I think. Now I'm worrying that I won't be able to see enough green, but I think we have enough little blips and patches to work with. So now I'm going to let that dry for about 3 hours in a nice warm environment. You can save this, you can add this back to the packet so you can use that next time. So all of these bits can be saved, okay? So let's come back to this when it's fully dry and we can start to remove the excess gold, which is really fun. Right, so before we brush away all the excess gold, I'm just going to give it a little rub, which is called burnishing. So I have a sheet of greaseproof paper here, which is going to protect the gold, and a soft cloth, what did I say? And just going to rub that in. And go all over the whole surface doing that. So let me just show you in an area where we've left some green. If I touch that with my finger, I can feel that it's still tacky underneath. So even though I actually left this to dry overnight, the size underneath is still tacky. So basically that's called, it's open. It's open for a long time, which means it can be used for a long time. So by burnishing, I'm rubbing in any bits that might not have quite stuck in our first process. Okay, so now I'm going to take my soft bristle brush and I'm going to have a lovely time getting rid of these extra pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to gently start to brush away where I can see overlapping areas. Look at that. So I'm going to collect all of that and put it in my little jar of golden goodness. Right, so actually I tell you what, let's collect it up as we go. Just push that down. I think I read somewhere that these little bits are called skewings. But anyway, they are nice to keep because you can use them for different projects. Okay, so let's carry on with the gold removal. Okay, so now we have most of the excess gold removed. It's looking good. I've got a nice amount of green showing through. The final stage, which is to apply a sealer. So there's lots of different types of sealers you can use. You could use a spray, like an acrylic sort of shellac varnish. But I'm going to paint on this ModPodge Gloss Luster, which is a water-based sealer. It's easy to use, it's not smelly or toxic, and you can just wash your brushes out with water. So I have put water on my brush just to make the sealer just a bit easier to use, and I'm literally just going to coat my whole canvas. So it's a little bit scary right now because obviously it looks horrible, but it is going to dry completely clear, protected, and still with a gloss. So you can get sealer in gloss, matte or satin, but I like a shiny finish, so Okay, so that looks absolutely horrendous. So we're going to say a little prayer, let it dry and come back to it. So now I have my completed canvas. Feels super strong, you know, and the sealant has worked really well. I am still learning about how vulnerable this imitation gold is to tarnishing. So I'm always experimenting. If anyone's got any super duper knowledge, you could let me know. Because it's a little bit alarming when you put but I'm going to paint over the top of this, and I'm still deciding what to paint. It's possibly going to be some white blossom, Japanese inspired. So tune in soon to see that. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Lots of shiny gold and beautiful things. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.